Oscar's boldness in conquering the honey. Once upon a time, deep in the forest, there was a little bear named Oscar. Oscar was a very curious and greedy bear. He loved exploring the forest in search of delicious fruits and berries to devour. But what he loved most of all was honey. One day, while walking in the forest, Oscar heard a buzzing in the distance. His little nose trembled with excitement. Honey! He started to follow the sound, hopping with joy at the thought of tasting this sweet treat. After a while, Oscar arrived in front of a large hive hanging from a tree branch. The bees were working diligently, gathering nectar and making honey. Oscar licked his lips, eager to taste this golden nectar. But the problem was that the beehive was too high for the little bear to reach. He grimaced, tried to jump, but in vain. He racked his brains, thinking of a way to access the honey. Then he had a bright idea. He sneaked up to the tree trunk, found a crevice, and began to climb the tree, claws clinging to the rough bark. He climbed, step by step, branch by branch, until he reached the height of the beehive. Once at the top, Oscar cautiously approached the beehive, avoiding the bees buzzing around him. He reached out a trembling paw and grabbed a dripping piece of honey. He brought it to his mouth, savoring every drop of this sweet delight. Oscar indulged himself, letting himself be carried away by the sweetness of the honey. He ate until he could eat no more, feeling satisfied and happy. Then he sat there under the tree, smiling with satisfaction. But suddenly, a heavy and threatening noise could be heard behind him. Oscar turned quickly to discover the owner of the beehive, who was coming back home, alerted by the noise and commotion. It was a big brown bear, the guardian of the beehive. He growled when he saw Oscar, who froze in terror. The bear rushed towards him, growling and showing his sharp teeth. Oscar trembled in fear, not knowing what to do in the face of this predator much bigger and stronger than him. He closed his eyes, preparing for the worst. But to his great surprise, the brown bear stopped abruptly in front of him, bowed, and gave him a reassuring smile. "You are brave and smart, little bear," said the bear in a deep voice. "You have shown yourself to be clever to reach my honey. I am impressed. You deserve to be rewarded." And without another word, the brown bear walked away, leaving Oscar speechless. The little bear remained there, under the tree, wondering if it was all just a dream. But when he looked around and saw the jar of honey that had been offered to him as a gift, he knew it was all real. Oscar smiled with happiness, proud of his bravery and cunning. He grabbed the pot of honey, cradling it gently against him, and set off on his way back home with a light heart and a full belly. And so our little bear, Oscar, learned that sometimes a little boldness is needed to get what one desires.